People who work at super fancy hotels, what kind of stuff happens that management doesn't want people to know about? It's pretty common to have a dead guest. There's a standard procedure for it, and we take care of it quietly. They're a weirdly popular place to commit suicide. Have a nice last meal, some nice entertainment as the Swan song, then die in the comfort afforded by 5-star accommodation, safe in the knowledge that someone will find the body and they won't be left lying on the floor of their own home for 7 months before somebody notices. During housekeeping, hotels use different colored cloths to wipe your drinking glasses, cutlery, toilets, and sinks to avoid contamination. They just didn't bother separating these cloths after wiping and moving to the next room. We take notes on your reservation profile. Everything from anniversary information to fave cocktails and foods. Add notes to pass along to other staff. The amount of sex toys left behind will blow your mind. $2,000 per night, and this place has a serious rat problem. I have a pretty interesting one. We know criminal enterprises have funded casinos in the past. I worked at Revel Casino, now Ocean, in Atlantic City before and after its opening. One thing they kept mentioning in our onboarding was that the triads were funding the casino. I thought it was super strange that these execs were just openly telling brand new hires. Worked at the Luxor Casino in Vegas while I waited to go to film school. People piss and masturbate under the gambling tables. A well-known luxury hotel and resort chain keeps a database of you. They get pictures from the internet and basically stalk you to create a profile. They put what you ordered to eat, how many towels you needed, what drinks you liked, your kids' names and birthdays, address, phone number. Everyone working in the hotel has access to this database and can see your information. It's not all good stuff either. We know you were an asshole to Jen while you were staying in London. The one I was at had to remove cameras in the lobby because bigwig guys would bring their mistresses, and no evidence was allowed to be recorded. I only work as a housekeeper at a regular 4-star hotel, but probably about 25% of people either bleed or leave shit stains on the beds. It's truly atrocious how disgusting people are, especially when they know someone else is cleaning it up. Even the wealthier guests. And the best tippers are the cleanest people. If someone fully shit on the bed and used towels to wipe, left cum on the shower door, drank heavily and puked on the carpet in multiple places, and clogged the toilet, that person will not tip at all. But the person who barely used the full bed and didn't use the shower at all and was super clean and polite, now that's a good tipper. People often commit suicide in hotels. That way their loved ones don't have to find them. We had a customer find the overnight front desk receptionist in the closet passed out with something wrapped around his neck and his dick flopped out. With some kink play he used to do, guy still kept his job. We turn a blind eye to drug dealers and prostitutes more often than you think. They hardly complain and usually prepay huge bonds happily. Also, we don't give a shit if you're having an affair. My buddy was a dive instructor at a luxury resort on an island. One of the guests had a heart attack on the diving excursion before he got off the boat. The nearest doctor couldn't come for 24 hours, so they put the corpse in a guest room and cranked up the aircon. Of course, reception gave the key to the corpse room to a newly arrived honeymooning couple. They were greeted by the star of Weekend at Bernie's edit for clarity. Doctor was to sign off death, do formalities not to save life. Mauritius in the early 1990s. A family member used to work at Opryland Hotel in Nashville. Yes, it's super fancy. For about a year, they had a phantom shitter. As in, random dumps left in random places. It was always in corners where security cameras didn't reach. They figured it was an employee, and had some ideas, but never knew who it was, until someone left and it stopped. This was about 20 years ago. My brother worked in an upscale hotel in Southern California. A morbidly obese guest sat on the toilet in his room, shattered it, got his femoral artery slashed by a chunk of broken toilet, bled to death, and flooded his room when the water line ruptured. My brother found out about it from the maintenance guy who found the body. Management made sure no other guest ever knew, including the guests in the room below the death scene who called for maintenance because water was running down their wall. My wife claims that the amount of people who shit in the shower far exceeds however many people you think shit in a shower. Edit. 1,000 people have commented waffle stomp. You do not have to comment waffle stomp. Please stop giving me notifications. Las Vegas, city of excess, people overdo it, drink, drugs, and die in their hotel rooms all the time. Vegas. Old guys plus hooker plus Viagra plus cocaine equals dead. I worked cooking at an ultra-exclusive resort in Utah, $3,000 to $12,000 per night. Nothing that exciting happened in my year there. I found a bottle in the tallboy, large fridge, labeled Kristen Bell's breast milk. Do not use. Most celebrities were nice, except for David Beckham. He specifically requested no staff members make eye contact with him. I had put in my 2 weeks, and was really drunk on a day off, and made a post on FB about how Gordon Ramsay was coming and I hoped he wasn't filming Kitchen Nightmares with us. I was fired within 24 hours, lol. I did get to cook fish tacos for him and his family though, and I heard he complimented the dinner kitchen crew directly, partially open kitchen, which is cool. Porn shoots. And you know those carpets and upholstery ain't getting cleaned. Some luxury hotels that cater to sports teams have standing agreements that no room service is allowed after the team departs, otherwise, the girls the athletes brought back the night before will rack up huge bills the team has to pay. Edited for clarity. We have a secret way in from the parking garage that leads to the executive offices. It's for prostitutes. These comments remind me that when I was on vacation last year, a guy, drunk, tried to do a backflip on the balcony and fell off. I want to say it was like the 10th floor, maybe. It was pretty big talk around the city. Edit, he did not survive. I used to work in accounts receivable for a couple of luxury hotels that were owned by the same LLC. We would open blocks of rooms for generic sports season about 8 months in advance. Due to high demand, these reservations had to be a 2-day FRI, SAT stay. Payment was made in full, $450 to $800 depending on room type. Refunds were available only if you canceled a month before the arrival date. When I first started in the position, I discovered $63,000 worth of reservations that had been canceled on time but were never refunded. I showed it to my manager, an absolutely incompetent woman who couldn't check in a guest if she needed to. She got back to me after discussing it with one of the owners. I can't remember how exactly she put it, but I was told to just forget the matter and not to mention it to anyone. I got a $500 cash Christmas bonus that year. Not a hotel employee, but associated with a popular convention that everyone would recognize. The convention attendees get so out of control that the hotel will only host the convention if they have a private security force. Since the private security isn't law enforcement or licensed, they do pretty much whatever it takes to keep trouble out of the public eye. Mostly, it's locking people up in rooms or escorting them out of town, but they can get rough at times. But none of the convention attendees know they are there, and the hotel staff pretends they don't see them. Even those who run afoul of them don't know exactly who it was that grabbed them. There is this hotel near the SeaTac airport. People will rent rooms on the backside top floors and then suicide off the balcony. Yeah, they are not going to run that in the news. Not often, but when it happens no one knows. We had valet service at our hotel, and due to huge amounts of theft and break-ins by bums in our lots, we had to go through guests' cars and take everything of value out to hid stuff in our conference room, then put it all back in before we brought their car around. Was ridiculous. And we had to keep it under wraps. Human trafficking became so bad that the company gave us training on looking out for it. There is policy in place to knowingly cause you issue and pacify you, routine elevator maintenance during a busy period because the tech travels around and it is now or 3 weeks from now. The elevator did not have unforeseen issues. Professionals are the worst guests for partying and puking everywhere and pissing in halls and breaking things and fucking in public areas. Lawyers, doctors, teachers. In that order. Whenever they had conventions, extra staff were on the next day for dealing with damage. Edit, I forgot to add overbooking as an example of dicking with people. We assumed not everyone would show on a 100% occupancy night and booked more than we could hold. The rare time we did have everyone show, hey, race free stuff and a ride to X hotel. We even had friendly agreements with neighboring competition to let each other know when we could take each other's overbookings.